I listen to the Mean Geek. Why don't you?
What, were they psychos? Or?
They look like psychos? Is that what they look like? They were vampires. Psychos do not explode when sunlight hits them. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are.
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the edge of civility.
Alright, kids, having completely wasted all the time that we had allocated for episode 77's books, as a matter of high and heated debate over continuity and nothing that's relevant in anything at all, because we're all going to buy the same shit we're going to buy, and we're going to read whatever the fuck we're going to read regardless. We're now moving on to the books that were going to be in 77, but you're now listening to in episode 78 of The Mean Geek.
Or as I like to call it, 77 Part 2.
No, you don't get a Part 2 just for 77.
I can say whatever the hell I want. You can call it 78.
You can say it, but that ain't gonna put it on the list that way.
In my head, it will always be 77 Part 2.
And that's why you're always going to be behind.
I am anyway.
You're going to be further behind, deliberately.
And this shocks
Is that what you want?
Yes, in life.
That explains a lot.
It really does.
Now that you've admitted deliberately looking to be intellectually left behind.
It's quieter back here.
That's a good point, really.
But I'm not a man who enjoys the rat race. I want to go further. I want you to go further, because then I won't have to hear you anymore. I'll be right here, kicking the cat.
Kicking the cat. For the shit it just left, I wish you would, man. That thing is... The fucker even buried it, and it's still killing me here.
Be fair, dude.
It's going right through my allergies.
It is catshit. It's not like it's designed to smell well.
No, you would think that even though cats are in fact predators, they're small predators. So you would hope that larger predators wouldn't be drawn to an area that a smaller being has just been in.
I'm not following.
Because, I mean, if you and I can smell this cat shit, and strong, then you gotta figure a coyote, who are known to eat cats, would be able to smell that shit from, like, literally a half a mile off.
Yeah, but
and go hunting for the cat.
It's actually a defense mechanism.
How?
Alright, well, let's say that you took a shit that smelled like that. How quickly would you be out of that bathroom? Because a cat shit stinks this way, he moves further afield, making him safer.
But listen,
I love that you can't argue with that.
Listen, I have more to add. Just like always, you go to a level and then you back off just before it becomes relevant and purposeful.
What could be relevant or purposeful about cat shit?
People wipe their asses. So although there could potentially be, this is disgusting, but there could potentially be shit scent left on a person.
The dingleberry of odor.
Cats don't wipe.
They don't have to.
And
They've got a natural fur.
There's got to be traces left on it, and it's being left in the air like a plume.
I am forced to acknowledge that you spend a lot more time examining cats' asses than I have. So
it's just physics, man. It's just physics. It's just biology. It's not examining cats' asses.
Past that. I don't know. I don't really study a lot of cat crap, and I certainly don't study a lot of cat ass. So for all I know, they're walking around totally shit odorless free.
All right, we're almost 4 minutes on cat shit, so let's move on.
In no way did I bring this up.
Let's move on to some books. You own the goddamn cat. That's what.
That's not my fault. I'm dating.
Where do you want to start, my man?
Fire away. What do you got?
Since I pulled it out to look at the cover last episode, the first thing I got is Batman Incorporated number 6.
Batman Incorporated number 6.
Now, the thing about Batman Incorporated is they've still got Grant Morrison doing it, but for whatever reason, they've decided that Yannick Paquette is just insufficient to master the insanity that is Grant Morrison's scripts.
Sure, this isn't a filler issue.
No, Burnham was on the last one as well, and maybe even the one previous to that. I'm not certain. I'm not going to lie. But the point being, Paquette is no longer on it, and I was enjoying Paquette. And no offense, Mr. Burnham, I'm sure you're an okay guy. If I see you at a con, I'll shake your hand because you're a professional and you're doing something I can't do. But you ain't my taste on this stuff. I absolutely hate the absolute blankness and strangeness that is Bruce Wayne's face on page 2.
Yeah, you know what? Even
that killed me. That absolutely killed me. All right, having established that he's got the creepy implant full contact cornea eyes that are so trendy with the hipsters these days, moving that aside, although I followed what was happening here, there's a lot of internet misdirection about who's Batman and who's Bruce Wayne, and they seem to be bringing out the Kingdom Come Bat droids, and they even brought in the Outsiders, for fuck's sake.
Yes, Red Robin and how many Outsiders could you identify from that picture?
From this picture, there's a recostumed Looker, there's Metamorpho, there's Katana, there's Halo, and some guy I don't know.
No, better than I did, but I did not read the Outsiders.
Well, there was a if Halo and Looker were in their original costumes, you'd have probably done. Okay.
Yeah, Halo, I remember. Looker, I don't even remember the name of, quite honestly.
I mean, you couldn't mistake Katana because she's got her sword out, and no one in the planet is going to mistake Metamorpho.
Yeah.
So,
but what do you think of the villains in this one? Joe Average and the Average Joes, or the Emoticons?
I read the Emoticons, and I wanted to puke. I wanted to stick a finger down my throat and ruin this book. Really? This is what you got?
Before you got there.
I could not. This is what you got? The Emoticons? You make a supervillain group out of a smiley on a computer screen? Really? Are their powers supposed to make you giggle? What? How does it translate to powers or theme?
Suddenly the Calendar Man is a lot more impressive.
Well, he moved on to be impressive. So did the Calculator. The Calculator wasn't impressive when he first showed up.
He was more impressive than the Emoticons.
But then he turned into as everyone knows by now, a bad boy Oracle. So that can work. A revamp can work.
There you go. See?
Ta-da! But I don't know where they're going to go with Emoticons.
You're never going to see them again. You're never going to...
Well,
nor will you see Average Joe and Joe Average ever again.
Now, that was a terrible idea. I don't know why. I mean, you're just going to run around and smack people around.
With wrenches.
With wrenches.
Because you're the mechanic. I was waiting for them to break out the YMCA.
I mean, they're the wrecking crew that never met Loki.
Oh, I mean, God. Terrifyingly bad. And then the new Bat members. That is a horrifying thought.
That's disgusting.
The Night Runner.
Was that? Well, no. Before we get to that, what's with these crazy, creepy kids slicing people up, spouting Leviathan?
They're the villains of. It's the new evil group that the Batmans have been formed to fight. I don't know, dude. I didn't care. I hate this book so much.
I'm tired of Stepford kids. There's too many of them floating around.
Really, can we just say, like, I'm sorry, you're not Batman. Like, go back to the page with the Outsiders and see what he says to the group. Read that out loud for me.
Let me get back to it here. I'm trying. It's very early on, and I got very far ahead. Don't sweat the details, boy wonder. We're a low-maintenance crowd. Good to see you again. How does Red Robin and the Outsiders sound?
No,
before
see what
that.
Batman says.
What Batman says? He doesn't say a whole lot of anything. He's not...
When he's talking about...
there he is.
The trust. And
second to none. Intelligence networks. Proud of everything you've achieved, Tim. Do you trust me? Your mission will be international, undercover. I want you to meet your fellow members of the Batman Incorporated stealth team.
Yeah. All right. Let me see.
Halo and Looker instantly kill any idea of stealth because Looker is based on being seen and Halo is based on fucking light. So stealth does not
here it is.
go into that at all.
It's on the next page when he refers to them all as his closest associates, including the extended picture, which has also Huntress, Batgirl.
He's got a lot of close associates.
Which he's fucking Batman. No, he doesn't.
He's really not supposed to. This really is Batman Family.
Yeah.
This is Grant Morrison's idea of Batman Family.
You know what? I'll say this. I really want to read the Bat-Mite Grant Morrison book.
There's a Bat-Mite Grant
I'm
Morrison
hoping
book?
that would be the best book ever for him.
Actually, you are absolutely right. If you were wanting to get trippy with Bat-Mite, he would be the guy to go to.
Grant Morrison writes Bat-Mite. I'll buy that book.
You know what? I would. I'd be right next to you.
Yeah. All right, but as far as Batman Incorporated, I hate it. At this point, I absolutely hate it. I disliked it to start. I didn't like the concept before it existed. They started to be a little interesting about it, and then totally fucked it.
Now, here's the thing. This isn't even going to make a year when they hit the Flashpoint revamp. And I'm not going to get nutsy on that because we did that last episode.
Yeah.
But do you think, and I know there's no way to tell, just a gut feeling, do you think they're going to restart Batman Incorporated?
I don't know. I mean, if Grant Morrison, people, the Grant Morrison books are very popular. Like, you read some of these pages, they start talking about how much they miss Professor Pig and the Flamingo.
You can't miss them. It's been 3 issues.
So, but for me, this isn't a Batman I enjoy. I'm not knocking his writing the way you do. I'm not screaming his name with obscenities. I don't like this Batman. It's this jolly, happy, pre-Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil Batman that I have no time for.
Yeah, the Silver Age ended for a reason.
You know, I'm
it
waiting
really
for him
did.
to fucking high five Commissioner Gordon so I can stab myself in the eyes, have a fruit smoothie, and go to bed.
Have a fruit smoothie and go to bed. Wow.
It's not Batman to me, and that the picture of him with the alien eyes is one of the worst things I've seen in comics in a while. So the art definitely didn't do too much for me. I like El Gaucho if he were like a mutant, and it's like, I'm El Gaucho the mutant. Like,
he doesn't even have to be a mutant. He needs to be a cowboy hero. That's fine with me. I don't mind El Gaucho being a cowboy superhero.
Then he'd be El Aguilar teaming up with Power Man and Iron Fist back in the day.
Yeah, he would, wouldn't he?
With his electricity sword. I used to love that book. Why am I the only one who ever
But you know
says
what?
that?
Since they're going to kill it anyway, I'm going to finish it.
Fair enough.
Because then I can be the nerd, bitchy, geeky moron and say, I have a complete run of Batman Incorporated. And people 5 years from now will not remember that it only went 10 fucking issues, but I will be able to say that I had them all.
And they all hurt. Just keep setting that bar higher and higher.
All right, we're done with the Batman Incorporated. Let's move on to the penultimate. I like that word a lot too, myself. The penultimate Secret Warriors, where we determine that everyone has been working for Nick Fury all the way from the beginning. Triple, quadruple crossing.
Which just makes you wonder what the Countess is involved in.
Yeah, what has she got left?
You know.
And who's this Johnson person? Was that Daisy who grew out her hair? That's what I thought, but you know, we only ever saw her with short hair.
The other guy was wasn't that Druid?
Sebastian, that was Druid, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who slimmed down, by the way.
Thanks to the awesomeness that is Garrett.
I am ashamed, not ashamed. I am sad to see this go.
You know, for a while it was really killing me, but it's been moving back up nicely. They took out Strucker, which was amazing.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I expected some big assault to free his ass, and I'm like...
And how cool was he? Do you have any last words? Yes? Well,
fuck
you.
Too fucking bad.
But why did all the Hydra guys just explode? Did that ever make a lick of sense to you?
No, I do not know why the Hydra guys are exploding. But we see the beginnings of a new shield after that.
Nope.
Which... It's hard to tell how they're going to handle that, because they made their mistake with Hammer, which we'll get to, unfortunately, when we get to Avengers 7 books from now. But so they're going to bring back Daisy. They may or may not bring back Sebastian. They took out Strucker. They're going to make a new shield. It's going to be in charge. It's going to be run by some senator, Senator Ralston.
Reb Ralston, dude, I'm going to slap you, and you're going to let me.
Why?
Reb Ralston is a howling commando.
You know, sometimes, every once in a while, I just let you have it.
Yeah, lies.
No, it's not lies. It's
As
a total lie. I mean,
as was revealed in Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos number 100, when when they all had a reunion and Nazis showed up.
Because you can't not have Nazis.
Yeah.
No, I totally forgot Reb Ralston.
Reb Ralston? Yeah, and you totally know who I'm talking about.
Because
once you,
now, yeah,
Yes.
because they only said his name once, and I'm like...
Senator Ralston.
Well,
Well, he's been in the book before.
as the senator?
Mm-hmm. When he met with Cap and...
Yes, you're correct. You're correct.
I'm going to see if I can do this. It's been a long time. Can I name the Howling Commandos?
You tried that like 9 episodes ago.
Did I do it?
Yes.
Oh, then I'm fine.
Tell me about the debacle that was Herc, Fear Itself, number 3. I'll tell you the truth. I'll head you off at the pass there.
Yeah.
I began to read it. I got through the synopsis. I got through page 1 and 2, where I was embarrassed that I read the line, "Then Bull will unnarrow it." But then by the time I got the Chimera saying, "Hold on tight, homies," I literally gave up and threw the thing down on the desk.
I thought it was Basilisk. I didn't realize that his name was
Is it?
Chimera.
No, that's not a
Manbull,
basilisk.
Griffin. Just
Griffin.
horrifying.
Because it's Griffin. It's Griffin.
So-
You're right. But either way, it totally doesn't matter. Because having a character like that say, "Hold on tight, homies,"
Horrifying.
I gave up.
Awfulness.
So what happened in the rest
Herc has
of the
no
issue?
powers. He gets a new costume, which is always a bad sign.
Yes, that's
which is like a
never
green
good.
jumpsuit with pockets.
Not something Herc has
And then-
ever been inclined to use before.
He has no powers. He's working at a bar in Lower East Side, Brooklyn, or whatever. So then Ares' son, Kinkos, or whatever the hell his name is pronounced.
Phobos.
as. No, different one.
He's got another one?
Yeah. It's
Phobos
not-
Demos.
Nope, different guy.
Really?
Yes.
How many sons did
I don't know, some
fucking
big
guy
friggin'
have?
horn-headed dude. And then he's trying to kill all the villains who are trying to break into a bank with this random girl they found. So Hercules starts helping them, so all the people that are cheering and praying to him are now against him.
Oh, come on.
I swear to God. And then
Really?
the girl they found stares into his shield, instead of turning the stone, figures out who she is, which is Hecate.
Hecate?
Whatever. You and your
Hecate.
damn- Hecate. Well, you and your damn pronunciations.
Well, I mean, it is Greek, so the E at the end is always E, so it's Hecate.
Hecate. Okay.
It's probably Hecate.
Hecate heck.
Let's
Don't
say
talk back.
let's say Hecate. Yeah. I know a lot of people like Hecate, but I've never heard a scholar say it out loud.
Well.
So,
Either way, awful.
where is this?
Now, the sad part is
Other
I
son.
just bought, as part of my agreement with you, so I buy a graphic every paycheck.
Yeah.
And I just bought, as you know, the first 2 big volumes of Hercules, which
The
were
Dark
excellent
Queen
reads.
of Lost Brooklyn. I can't get behind that. I can't.
The Dark Queen of Lost Brooklyn.
Can't do it.
Wretched. Rough.
So, you got a bunch of hardcovers from the last Hercules run.
Which were excellent.
I'm looking forward to getting them, to reading them, because I got them. I took them from you. I took possession. I'm so ready to read them, because the books that I just randomly decided to pick up one day and see if it was any good had me in fucking stitches. Loved the interplay between Cho and Herc, and it was fucking great, even with the puppy hanging around. Yes.
Wait till you find out about the puppy.
What happened to the puppy?
You want me to tell you? It'll ruin it.
It's not going to ruin it. You know, after all these years, that I'm more about the details of getting where it went than the end result.
Puppy was a Skrull the whole time.
No, really? Well, damn. All right. Well, I guess if they can make them cows, they can make them puppies. So, at any rate, so yeah, less said about this book, the better. Than
I don't think Herc's gonna be around for a very long time.
Not in that format, anyway. That's oof, talk about let's start from scratch.
Yep.
Ugh. Give me the one that bangs Snowbird back.
That is actually in the graphics that I gave you. You'll get to figure out what that was all about.
They show him banging Snowbird?
Not literally a show, thank fuck, but
I like Snowbird. I'd watch her get. Never mind.
Stop talking right now.
Oh, one of our favorite books, Vertigo's Unwritten, is back with some bizarro auction that's a setup for a Ocean's 11 job with 3 whole people that fails miserably.
First off, finally the 3 heroes are reunited, and it feels so good. But after Timothy jumps out of a glass of water into a restaurant with no one freaking out, which to me makes no sense.
Well, the non-freaking out part was curious. But it was fun to see him pop out of a glass of water.
So they team up. He has more sex with a random character from
No,
Charles
that was
Dickens'
her
novel.
Well, I mean, because What's-Her-Face is the character from the Dickens novel, so it's not random. He knew her. He's banged her before.
No, fair enough. But it still blows my mind that, he's getting down on all fours with the character from
All Fours?
Little Dorrit or whatever. My favorite part of this, the whole auction thing was interesting. They brought up a sensory deprivation tank, which apparently had a lot to do with childhood, which just sucks.
Yeah, that couldn't have been fun.
But I was very excited that he found his kid's toy, Mr. Bun, which is now the world's most awful rabbit. So that's a little intriguing to me.
I found it fun that they actually didn't wait for him to bother finishing the incantation before they pumped him full of tranquilizer. Because, I mean, if you're going up against a wizard with a wand, you know you're going up against a wizard with a wand. It's not like you're walking down the street and decide to mug this random guy and he turns out to be a wizard with a fucking wand. You start hearing this weird pig Latin coming out of this guy waving a stick at you. You should start pulling the trigger before he finishes speaking. And that's what they did, and I was happy to see that.
I also like how they broke a blog into the whole concept. That, here we are. I'm actually innocent. I'm blogging about it.
No.
Because that will convince no one.
Absolutely no one.
But it's continuing on a good run. Just like Secret Warriors, there was a while there I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But it's sort of righted the ship, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it did get curious for a while there, and I was worrisome about where it might go. But, like you said, right back to it. And I'm very happy. It's been 2 fucking years.
Crazy.
It's
I can't
awesome.
believe, I'm curious what the sales are on a book like this,
Well, good enough to go 25 issues, and these days, that can't be bad.
I'll give you...
It probably does... Well, Vertigo universally does about 2/3 of the mainstream DC books. So, let's say, just for example's sake, a midline DC book does 35,000. Then this one probably does 25,000.
Okay.
So, and if that's good enough... Well, for circulation speaking, the expectations for Vertigo books are far lower. So that's because the quality is much narrower It's much higher, but it's in a narrower bandwidth of audience. So they're willing to accept that they're selling less because they're targeting very specific groups of readers.
Okay.
So that's fine with me. Which brings us right to another Vertigo book. Cinderella, Fables Are Forever, number 4.
Fables are
I
forever.
dig the fuck out of Fables, and I dig the fuck more out of Cinderella. You know, a blonde James Bond
Fairy tale
running around, fairy tale James Bond running around. That's just awesomely
Fighting
cool.
with Dorothy.
Fighting with Dorothy, and then ending up on a dirigible going to Oz.
Being driven by a cat with rubies for eyes and a glass body so that you can see its brain.
That's
And
creepy, and I don't know where that comes from.
I think it's from Oz. But the silverware working human automatons.
That was a little weird.
That was a lot weird.
Totally not utterly unexpected because, you know, the dish ran away with the spoon. There's
Fair
clearly
enough,
a
see?
precedent.
And then
So
you
I didn't
got
know they could drive
flashbacks.
androids, but in a, you know, Gundam Wing style, but okay.
I enjoyed it. Like, I'm all about silverware fucking with people. That's a lifestyle choice that I've embraced for years.
So they end up in Oz through a dirigible. And where does that...
It's an interesting book. Like, there were a lot of flashbacks in this one. The Nancy character, that weird Ivan dude that's either an ally or a villain, who was a villain the last time they were around. So there's some confusing things going on.
But so incredibly enjoyable.
Fun. It's a fun book.
I'm so glad that this book is over. And the book I'm referencing is the one that has me more and more disappointed with the badassery of Darth Vader every time I read it. Is Darth Vader and the Lost Command. So they've killed the Tarkin they need to kill. They've made it look like an accident.
No. It wasn't it was made to look like an attack so that Grand Moff Tarkin would hate people more. My
Yes.
problem with this book, first off, I don't care. Secondly, visions of Padme show up and make him go nuts, even though he killed her, which just makes Vader look ridiculous. And then he kills everyone, including Tarkin and the weird priestess chick that was causing the visions, by crushing them and himself in his space wreck, where he then waits to be pulled out of so he can be repaired.
Yeah, I'm so totally not happy with that at all.
That seems
What-
like a bad plan to me.
When I think of Darth fucking Vader, I think of choking rebels and chucking them up against the wall. I think of a subordinate disappointed me and 700 kilometers away on an entirely different ship, I choked the shit out of him.
Yeah. You don't think, like, I'm going to kill you by bringing the walls down on all of us. Oh, I may break my arm.
Maybe. Possible, but not necessarily. But the real point being, he's a powerful puss, really, is what it is. And once he puts on the armor, I want him to be 100% badass 100% of the time.
Yep.
I want him to be unregretful. The past is gone. I want him to fuck shit up at every opportunity.
Yep.
I don't want him to be a regretful disappointment to the Emperor.
I have no interest in...
Dooku disappointed the Emperor because he wasn't as powerful as fucking Anakin. So he had Dooku killed without a second fucking thought.
Yeah,
So
but
if Vader is disappointing, why wouldn't he cack him off?
because he doesn't have anybody more powerful yet, is the theory. But you know what?
That's
'Cause
definitely...
as soon as Skywalker came along...
Yeah, true. As soon as the sun showed up, he's like, well,
Kill
maybe
your
we
father.
can turn him.
Which
fine and
suddenly
dandy.
makes sense, because he had a loyal disciple who's like, no, yeah, I want the young one. Because apparently, Vader was this giant, goof troop fuck up.
Goof troop. And that kills
Yeah.
everything we've seen in
No,
the in the original 3.
Which is why I, unlike you, don't like Star Wars con. Except for, the ones from Marvel back in the day.
Yeah, that's something. Two-Face is back
See, this is the perfect example of giving me what I want and then slapping me in the face. Right? Like, give me a villain I know. Oh, here's Two-Face, who's lost his coin.
And is on a rampage and killing indiscriminately because he has no way to restrain himself.
Right. And who took the coin? Mario Falcone. How? Unexplained. Then Mario Falcone drugs him with a phone booth filled with gas.
Which, really? How did he know? Did he lead him? Because I read this and I was distracted by what the fuck it was the entire time. So he drops... I can't even tell how he got in the phone booth.
And the big reveal.
And the big reveal is his former wife, Gilda.
Is dating Mario Falcone. Which is intriguing, of course, because Gilda is actually part of the murdering group from the Long Halloween.
She didn't do anything in Long Halloween.
No, sorry, Dark Victory. You're right.
Yeah, okay. Don't
Wait,
fuck with me.
No, it was Long Halloween.
No, it wasn't.
At the end, when she's throwing guns away, she was trying to murder everyone so that Harvey would come home more often. I believe in Harvey Dent.
Yes. Still, I don't think it's necessary for Gilda to come around.
Hey, I have no problem with it. You know, like, they've used the character. Everything else they've taken from Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale should basically just own Batman at this point, because everything they do, people are like just taken discriminately.
I don't know.
Which
about
is only
destroy.
Fair. No, I didn't say destroy. I said discriminately. Because they took everything basically from Frank Miller and Dave Mazzucchelli. So
I don't know if Gilda is really such a fatale to be wearing this kind of gangster mall outfit. Really, because despite her homicidal tendencies, she seemed to be a pretty much suburban homebody type with all the fashion sensibilities that would entail. But this
more of a Donna Reed gone wrong than
yes. But this all that cleavage and this slit up to the hip, that doesn't seem like a Gilda to me.
Well, you know, she's a brand new Gilda, or she's going for the Rita Hayworth Gilda.
Oh, I'm down with the Rita Hayworth.
I know you
Gilda. Yes. Me? There were points of it that showed a little hope and progress. I don't know. Tony Daniel has not been hitting a single cylinder for me, really.
This is not in any way my all-time favorite Batman. But at least Two-Faces in it, the Falcone, you know, I asked him to bring, you know, not that he listens to this fucking podcast, but I'm like, bring me villains I've heard of, please. And he did, so I have to give him that.
That is a start. That is an excellent start. Villains we know, even though they're not ancient, like Two-Face there.
The Red
Jason
Hood.
Todd floating around a jail, specifically staying in the regular jail so that he can just kill anybody he pleases who have pissed him off on the street in previous years.
Does this remind you in any way of the Punisher miniseries back in the day, the Mike Zeck one? Where
to
Punisher's
a degree,
just slaughtering prisoners.
Yeah,
like,
I can see
him the
that.
hell out of here.
I can see that. No, don't send me to Arkham. I'm not crazy. Oh, although I'll kill the guy with the buck teeth.
The Beaver.
The Beaver.
He'd already killed his brother Wally, to be fair, so...
Judd. The Beaver? Really? This big hairy guy with buck teeth? That's what you got for me? Really?
Well, they're just going to kill him off.
Well, yeah, but, you know, why give him a theme if you're just going to kill him anyway?
So, I wrote this out.
Is there going to be a Beaver backstory eventually? You know, a 6-issue limited series to explain the animosity between Wally Beaver and Beaver Cleaver and that Red Hood did between the panels of Batman and Robin 19.
And then at the very end, who comes to break him out of prison?
Who comes to break him out of prison but
the Animandos?
The Anacommandos. The Beast Commandos. They just showed up a few months ago in another book, and we're like, what the fuck are we looking at?
What book was
that? Generation Lost.
I don't even remember that.
I can't remember their names. The Beast Commandos, the Beastamandos, the Creature Commandos. That's what it was.
No, that was different.
Creature
that was
Commandos.
Like Frankensteins and whatnot. This is birds.
Oh,
with
this
machine
is
guns.
this is a lion guy and a tiger guy. And
This is Commandi.
lizard guy. Yeah, this is a whole
The
nother
Commandi
thing.
Commando.
Sure, why not? It's 11:32 in the evening. Of course, it's the Commandi Commandos. I mean, this is what we're all about.
Oh, God. That's your favorite Culture Club song, isn't it? The Commandi Commandos?
Was that off the third album?
Again, don't know.
Yeah, because it didn't exist. Detective 877,
'Cause I'm a
which will
road
never
runner,
make
baby.
900. Go
Can't
fucking
keep up with me.
Fuck you.
The villain is
Hungry
really
City.
called- dude, awful. I was already upset with the giant whale thing. And the body of the giant whale. And then we follow this up with the guy who's stealing cars, and he's called a roadrunner, and then he hops away on cyber legs.
Yeah, there was never any indication that he had cyber legs. There was. You might get a little idea he was quick because his name was Roadrunner, but that was kind of downplayed because he dealt with cars, so you figure road, it matches up there. You're not thinking any further than that. What? I was so happy with where it was going with just 4 issues ago.
And then he said meep meep.
He did not say meep meep.
He absolutely says meep meep.
Totally did not say meep meep.
Let me see the book.
I will not find a meep meep in here. I'm looking specifically for the page where he goes meep meep. Although I don't think Dick would be that indiscreet though, would he? To make fun of Sonya like that?
Wait a minute.
You said the rotten apple doesn't far fall from the tree.
I don't know. I think they're building up. I had a real problem with this because everything.
I'm
is a
talking
cliche
specifically
these
about
days,
his dialogue.
But everything is a cliche these days, so nothing is a cliche. And what I mean by that is, in the 30s,
Yeah.
in the movies, you'd have the boy who falls in love with a beautiful, unobtainable blonde girl.
Uh-huh.
Then, in the 50s, the big reveal is that the blonde girl is actually a bitch, and the hot girl who lives next to you is the better choice.
Yes.
And then, further down the line,
Yeah.
suddenly, the girl who lives next to you isn't good enough, and it is to get the dream back.
Fuck, he did say meep meep, didn't he?
Told you.
But he didn't say it, saying it, meep meep, I'm leaving. He said meep meep, sucker. In
It
an
doesn't make
indication,
it any better.
In an indication that he's fucking with the guy.
He's still
He
awful.
didn't say it as a catchphrase of his character.
But so here we have the beguilingly attractive mob daughter. So, and the amazing thing is there are so many cliches now that you don't know which cliche it is. So it's just like there are none. Is she actually going to be the villain? Are they going to fall in love?
I seriously doubt that Dick is going to fall for Sonya.
She's described as, and I quote, because I wrote it down, beguilingly attractive mob daughter.
Yes, but he's still fawning over Barbara and Donna. And Firestorm, or Firestar, or whatever,
Well, his name is Dick.
whatever. There is that. Why you do that shit to me?
It's funny.
Funny to you.
That's all that matters.
Do you really want to talk about Gates of Gotham?
I love the best thing about Gates of Gotham is that their Hush shows up and there's some sort of Bioshock villain walking around in some modernized 1930s underwater garb.
I totally didn't need that.
I really don't know that I need to believe that the 3 bridges in town were built by the Waynes, the Elliots, and the Cobblepots.
Totally don't care. It means nothing to me.
It was, it didn't blow me away in any way. I didn't dislike it as much as you did, since you handed it to me like, this sucks.
Well, I have a philosophical problem with this need to keep going back to pasts that we've never known before. I'm making up new history because I can't make up new future history.
Well, you can all the time these days. Could travel in time, take 2 heroes that are kind of popular, and create Red Tornado Arrow, or whatever.
No, you can't do that. Fuck you.
That's all they do.
This revisionist stuff, at the scale and frequency they're doing it now, is driving me up the wall.
Well, I will say that I was excited to see Hush.
Well, yeah, it's always nice to see Tommy Elliott getting down, but
So hopefully that still, and even in this on a side project, there's like 45 Batman floating around. And I will say the art didn't blow me away particularly.
nah.
I don't usually make art comments. That's more your thing, but
Yeah, it was serviceable at best. Really, it didn't really offer me anything, but it didn't stand out to a degree where I could say the guy's got no fucking lips and that's irritating me. Or the eyes that were in.
I don't want to talk about that.
That was insanity, and I didn't like it. Let's shift gears here. Let's go to Captain America Gulag Part 3, where Sharon Carter and Black Widow have a several-page tete-a-tete about how to cover up, how to let the Black Widow go out and extract Bucky because she's still in love with him, like she should be, because he hasn't done anything to force her out of love with him.
Other than being a psychotic Russian serial killer, mercenary.
Yeah, but she knew he was the Winter Soldier. She walked in knowing that. She didn't. It's not like it was a shock to her.
I love that you have to read 4 pages for the plan that's like, oh, she got away. I don't know where she went. Really?
That's Brubaker dialogue, man.
No, I'm still a big fan of this book. There's some clever things like Bucky knowing he's going to get his ass kicked, and then the weapons show up, and he wins. But yeah, it has a true feeling to it in the sense, of course, that nothing can possibly be true about fighting an ex-Titanium man in a Russian prison. And the whole plan of using his experiences in the prison to awaken his memories is creative.
It is.
And then the wolf spider fucking shit up to get him out so that they can blow shit up further. It's still it's an excellent book. I'm really enjoying where they're going with it, as long as it results in Bucky not being Cap anymore. And the fact that he's starting to remember more and more what a douchebag he was through no fault of his own.
Right. Because he was mind controlled. It's that simple.
And then, meanwhile, do you know what's bothering me about this? Is that Henry Geirig would not make plans and deals with Russians because
Geirig is a rabid nationalist.
So, like that whole, I was hanging out with this old Russian dude.
No, you totally weren't, Henry.
No.
You totally weren't.
We met at a young Republican rally. With Limbaugh.
When I read this and I realized the kind of actions he was taking that were so out of character with everything we've known, I flipped in my mind to a scene in the first X-Men movie, and it stuck because it's talking about the character I'm reading about, and because I love the way Ian McKellen comes out with this line that he says.
What's that?
Mr. Gyrich has been dead for some time.
Very nice.
So yeah, I'm not sure Cap would react quite that way either.
Well, Cap reacts differently about Bucky. That's been made clear, and
And that's a cat flying around the room. So, hope you enjoyed that, kids.
But it's moving along nicely. I think Cap's in a good place right now, and it's a must-read for me.
Absolutely right. Mighty Thor #2. I'm kind of glad there's a second Thor book, and I'm kind of worried that there's a second Thor book, because I don't want them to spread the potential pool of Thor stories too thin.
Yeah, because I'm enjoying them.
Yes,
it's like
exactly.
Avengers. Like maybe 1 to 2 Avengers books would have had.
That would have been perfecto. Yeah. But so far, we have them recovering a seed from Yggdrasil.
Yes.
And they're very worried about why they did it.
Well, they're not worried at all.
But, they are. They had this conversation of why did Odin have us do this?
They're
and it turns out to be justly so, because he uses it to power to fucking destroy her again.
Yes, that was awesome.
Which was pretty cool, I grant you.
And you've also got the Brigade of Realms trying to beat up a rock and doing very badly.
Very poorly. They're going to need a lot of training when Galactus shows up.
Which is awesome. And Thor versus Silver Surfer, Odin versus
That is going to be a
Galactus.
throwdown worthy of Simonson, I hope.
I'm loving it. Matt Fraction Thor is good Thor.
I totally lost my train of thought there. I thought for a second, when you throw Galactus in there, you got a lot of worries about whether it's going to be over the top or just silly or what.
Nope.
But I think Fraction can pull it off.
Right now, like, it's built up nicely. Surfer hasn't been used a ton lately.
Not in the mainstream. He's been over in the cosmic stuff and Guardians of the Galaxy and Annihilation and stuff I haven't been buying.
But no, I'm very much looking forward to it. I think a Odin Galactus battle or showdown could be awesome. I also like how Odin put the smackdown on Heimdall.
Yes. And now the book we finally get to after I mentioned, 45 fucking minutes ago. The New Avengers, number 12. The mix of the Chaykin storyline and the current Bobby got shot, let's all make Hawkeye look like a crazy person storyline. Which isn't too bad. You'd expect a husband to act like that.
You know what? Except they're the worst relationship ever. I mean, are they even officially married
I
right
don't
now?
know about ever.
Well, that doesn't involve Hank Pym.
There you go. That's where I was going.
Are they even actually married? Because in the other
we
Avengers
never
book-
finished the reunion miniseries, so I don't know what their official true status is, but they've been working together in this book, so we got to assume they're at least civil with each other.
Fair enough.
And you can't discount, the sentimentality.
But he's flirting with Spider-Woman and one of the other Avengers in a book I hadn't finished in time for this podcast.
Oops.
So, let's talk about, first off, still loving the Shaken goodness
Yeah,
of the
the
50s.
Shaken's awesome.
I don't understand why Craven, who is supposed to be the greatest hunter of all time and who moves to hunting things with knives because guns are too easy, can't shoot the Red Skull successfully.
Yeah, he got the guy the SS officer walking next to him.
I didn't mind that at first because, like, the line, like, how do I miss a giant red head was pretty damn funny. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right. Then he manages to shoot Craven, Sabretooth through the chest. I'm like, all right, dude, no. Like, the Craven is like the comic relief, which is killing. Like, Bloodstone, make that dude the comic relief. Nobody likes that guy. Ulysses Bloodstone has never been missed.
The interrogation that went on for 4 pages, and then finally Wolverine scares
Just
her
shows
enough.
up and pops out a claw.
Yeah, well, that would scare the shit out of me. I'll tell you right now. Okay, what do you want to know?
You're not named Superior. I mean,
Well, that wasn't Superior, though. That was just some random hammer agent. So, I gotta tell you, I'm insanely disappointed with these last couple of pages.
What, the Chaykin or the,
The modern,
the
Victoria Hand. I was hoping Hand was actually a character that had character and had actual principles.
yeah, maybe she is. Maybe she's playing Hammer to set them up for Cap.
A double cross.
A triple double. Triple Indy.
Nah, I can't. There's too much of that. I mean, if we want that, we just run over to fucking Secret Warriors, for fuck's sake.
I don't.
We get plenty of that over there.
No, thank you.
See, I was hoping that we could have a character that would move, and
Actually
she
redeem
started
itself.
one way, and she did. I don't think she needed to be redeemed.
Well, she did work for Norman Osborn.
She worked for Norman Osborn, but she was the only thing that was holding him in check, as little as he was.
yeah, but that's
If
not
she
really-
hadn't been a leavening agent, so to speak, on his personality and actions, Hammer would have been in a whole different well, not a whole different organization.
it would have been
but
slightly worse. But
it would have been a lot worse, I
I don't
think.
know about a lot.
It's Norman fucking crazy ass
and
Osborn.
he still did a whole bunch of Norman ass crazy ass Osborn crazy shit. Like, if we go to the zoo together and you start raping monkeys, and I stop you at the 7th monkey,
But you're the one that loves monkeys.
not the way you do, apparently.
Hey.
But my point being is you've still done some pretty fucked up, horrible things, and if I let you do the first 6, I'm like, dude, 7 monkeys is too many. You need to stop now. I'm not the voice of reason.
But do you personally now require redemption?
We probably both get arrested.
You're an accessory after the fact?
You know, because she was basically holding the door open, letting him in, and going, "Oh, that's not right." And then helping him out, handing him a towel, and moving to the next monkey cage. I'm just saying, like.
But she did make indications that she was just a nationalist and was a little more strident than she should be in application of what she thought was the proper way to run shit.
She made all these things to the Avengers after Norman Osborn had been put down like a rabid dog that raped monkeys.
No, remember, you need to go. I need to bring you back the all 16 issues of Dark Avengers.
She did stand up to him several times. But what I'm saying is she defended this point. She was pretty happy to be working for Norman Osborn. Even
Well, it was a damn good job, theoretically.
Which is my point. But, you know, it's only after he was put down, like the rabid dog monkey raping thing that I mentioned earlier. Then she's suddenly like, look, think of how much worse he would have been if I hadn't been around. It's like, that's not really the best argument.
But it is a valid one.
Valid and good are not the same thing, and this is what we're discovering. And then we go to Secret Avengers, which you could put down like a rabid dog as well.
What happened in this thing? Nazi fucking mechas.
Attack Washington, D.C.
Where a guy thinks that he can ramrod a bill by being the only active fucking senator on the floor.
I think you're misinterpreting that slightly. I don't think it's about ramrodding. I think that the bill was open, and he's staying on the floor to make sure that it stays open. Was the interpretation I took from it.
He seemed
which is slightly different.
He seemed enthusiastic enough where I got the impression that he actually thought it would pass just because nobody could oppose it.
It would be hard to oppose a bill
when you're not there.
Well, also when the guy died in the middle of the damn floor. How do you fight that guy? Like, I stayed and everyone else ran screaming, but this one lone representative stood on the floor to maintain the bill. I don't have the balls on a political forum to fight that dude. All right.
But it turns out his mutant power,
which he was somehow he was so powerful, he was able to hide from Cerebra. He
hid from Cerebra. He hid from Cerebro. He was one of the very few that made it through House of M.
Yeah,
and his ability is to energize the touchstones of American history and have them fight for freedom.
Yep.
Wow.
Not just American, because dinosaurs are coming out of the Smithsonian.
That's right. Robots. So it's history overall.
Yes.
But a 20-foot fucking stone Lincoln throwing down, and George fucking Washington
leading Civil War troops,
striding right out of the pages of the
awfulness. By the way, can I just say that Hank and Lenny, the representative, Hank and Lenny sounds like a really bad knockoff of the Odd Couple. See, I was actually thinking like one of those little vignettes on Hee Haw.
There's one other person who listens to this podcast who knows exactly what the fuck Hee Haw is.
Oh man.
Are you why are you taking my Green Lanterns away? We got enough time to talk about Green Lantern.
I was trying to save them for next time. I thought we were closer.
No, 53. That's plenty for 3 books.
All
right, so Green Lantern Corps, and Emerald Warriors, 66, 60, and 10 respectively, which are parts 7, 8, and 9 respectively of War of the Green Lanterns. So, holy fuckbake.
There's a phrase you hear every day.
I'm just going to cut right to it because it's a mind-boggling thing. I've been notified that my volume is just a little higher than it really should be. Especially for fucking midnight.
Yeah, good guess. Alright, so what's your holy fuckbake moment?
John Stewart took on the power of the Black Lantern to blow up Mogo's fucking brain.
I really can't believe that Jon Stewart has now killed 2 planets.
It's amazing, isn't it?
One just seems careless.
One just seems careless.
2 and he literally sniped it.
For the listeners, what was the first one?
I don't remember the name.
It was probably Odin, right?
No, it was it was in Cosmic Odyssey.
Oh,
Jim
way
Starlin.
the fuck back then.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that
And
was.
he was cocky.
And who did the art on that?
Mike Mignola.
But
he was teamed up with Martian Manhunter. They were broken into 4 teams, and they were off to save different planets. That I'm not going to get into the details because it involves Darkseid and quanti beams and
yeah, and it goes a little far afield from what we're really talking about.
Jon Stewart was so obsessed with the abilities of his ring that he left Manhunter behind, figuring he could take out everyone by himself. And they had built the machine in yellow, so he couldn't turn it off, and the whole planet blew up. I'm, paraphrasing a lot of writing in there.
Nuts.
So now he's literally responsible for 2 planets, which is going to seriously fuck up the Green Lantern Corps, except for the fact that they're all murderous zombies. So, oops.
This is sheer insanity. They have a couple of flashbacks to go talk about what's going on inside the black book that everybody's been trapped in. And that seems kind of wasteful.
You know what I like? I like how Sinestro is breaking out of it. Like, what a lot of people tend to forget is how powerful your villain needs to be sometimes to be the lead villain.
Yeah, he has to be worth fighting.
And, Sinestro was the ultimate Lantern before Hal Jordan. And suddenly Earthlings are like key, designed to be uber lanterns. But so Sinestro ripping through the book when all the other people are trapped inside it,
pretty
way cooler.
Freaking cool.
And then you've got the weird indigo chick offering him whatever he wants or threatening, and you're like, all right, for a hope-based person, you're kind of crappy looking. What's going on? Explain. So there was some very cool stuff in this. I did like that, the big reveal for me in the 3 issues was Guy Gardner going berserk, trying to figure out what he loves and what he hates. And he loves Green Lanterns and he hates Red Lanterns, which is, the whole thing where it's pretty, and I love Tora.
Somehow Tora wasn't good enough for him, though.
Well, he didn't love her the way he loved being a Green Lantern, which actually totally explains his character.
It's definitely the Guy Gardner type emotion that would be running around a guy like his head. Kirkham. I am Tyler Kirkham. Did we talk about him before? Because his pencils are blowing me the fuck out the water here.
Very nice.
I love them. There's a lot of stuff going on, but you can tell what's going on when, and that's crucial to me.
Well, this is the big moment. We're hitting it into the end of the event, and they've flown through it, which I've loved. It's well done. They took out a negligible but major character, which is, what you do these days.
Yes. And I normally don't talk about it, but the colorists, Rod Reese and Nii
Hard to believe you don't
Rufino.
talk about it.
I don't know what programs they're using to color this book, but they're doing a fucking bang-up job, dude.
Now, this is Green Lantern Corps, this one?
This one's Core.
Yeah.
This one's Core.
No, honestly, I'm really enjoying this event, which is great because Blackest Night broke my heart the way it ended, and Brightest Day was appalling.
Yes. And I was mildly perturbed. I didn't quite get to irritated about it because being blue, this is how he's supposed to speak, but Kyle's constant, there's a better way. It started to grate just the teeniest bit.
He's Kyle. You don't really like, other than the Ron Mara stuff early on, Kyle has never done a ton for you to begin with.
No.
So,
but it's also leavened by the fact that he's the hope guy. So there's always the hope that there's a way around getting too radical.
There's the hope that he'll be written better in the next issue.
There is that as well. So our last book for this episode is If I could speak English, I could tell you what it is.
It is to dream.
Emerald Warriors 10, Part 9 of War of the Green Lanterns.
Now they start purging some Green Lanterns so the big fight can happen. The Guardians are still possessed, but Parallax is out of the ring. Like, it's just, everything's happening very quickly and very cleanly.
Everybody's finally figured out exactly what emotional spectrum
And they have their rings
participant
back.
they're supposed to be. They got their rings back. Mogo's not generating 10 billion fresh recruits a second.
Yeah, I'm really curious, like,
to
what's gonna
oppose
happen.
them.
There's a lot of dudes that don't deserve rings flying around with Green Lanterns.
There's gotta be that. There's gotta be some fallout from that. But you know what? It won't. There will be no fallout because everything's starting from scratch in 3 issues.
Yeah. Killing. See?
Yeah. See, that could have been some interesting stories, man.
You know, that's where that kind of thing does hurt you. Is, you know, why should I care about the impact of this book if you're just going to take
Yes.
it away? Or you might take it. I don't even know, so I don't know if I should care or not, which is where the frustration starts to lie.
Yep.
So that's where I see your end of it. My
Yeah.
point is simply that there are certain things that could go away from some of these books without really hurting them either.
Oh, sure.
You know?
But
But
I'm not going to debate that part of it.
there's still Sapphires trapped in things. Larissa Dark is hanging out in the Black Book.
Done with that one.
Yeah,
And-
that always just brings Legion back whenever you see like a Dark or anything.
I don't
And no
need
one misses
Legion.
Legion.
I don't want Legion. Forget Legion. So, I think we had a pretty successful time of it today.
Yeah, we managed to get an extra podcast out of fighting for an hour and a half, so...
We've gone through some really excellent books, and we had a couple of stinkers. But we'd like to remind everybody that we do, in fact, pay for everything we read. So, we're not prejudging anything.
You get my money, I get to say, you suck.
That's right.
Or
And
you
anyway-
get his money, and I get to say, you suck.
We both have to say this. Anyway, having established that, have a great night.
Bless you, fuckers.
I just set up yours, baby.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. You can find us on iTunes, Podcast Alley, Facebook, Comic Space, our own site, www.themeangeek.com. Subscribe to us through RSS, and most importantly, find us as a proud member on the Comics Podcast Network. Contact us directly through email at themeanergeek@gmail.com.